Florida's Rowdy Reptiles are primed on senior night, especially appreciative for Casey Hill, a career that has spanned from Final Four to frustration. On this senior night, he joins in with 3 other Gators to take in the rewards of a strong year, still with big things in sight. Glad you're with us as you're watching the SEC on ESPN. From here in Gainesville, very important game to size up the SEC tournament. 12th ranked Florida, the inside position, but Arkansas right there and red hot. They have found themselves with 5 straight wins. 3 on the road. Gators and Razorbacks ready to go. As we say good evening, Joe Tessitore and Sean Farnham. That inside position is try to be number 2 seed in Nashville behind Kentucky, a Kentucky team that just beat them. Florida had won 9 straight. I'm curious to see how they react. What do you make of these 2 teams getting ready for Nashville in the tournament?
Look, I think both of them are secure in the NCAA tournament. I think right now it's about improving that resume and improving the opportunity to make a long run next week when you and I are both in Nashville for the SEC tournament. I think for Arkansas in particular, a statement road win would be huge for Mike Anderson's team. They've been better committed at the defensive end of the floor. And then conversely, you look at Florida, I think you're right, Tess. They felt like they were invincible, even without John Igbunu. How are they going to react after now they take a loss where Malik Monk went absolutely bananas in the second half? And with their mental approach and that same edge here on senior night.
See Skylar Rimmer out there starting on the tip for Florida as we have 4 seniors and Kayvon Allen, who had 21 points when these 2 first met up. That was a Florida win back in late December at Arkansas, 81-72, but a much different Arkansas team right now. The dish underneath, but somehow Kingsley couldn't finish.
Yeah, but
Barford takes care of things.
So strong, and he is just never quit mentality, and I think he's been a huge addition for the Arkansas Razorbacks all season long because of that resiliency, never giving up on a play, always looking to try to make a positive impact for his team.
He has 4 20-point scoring games all on the road this year. There's Berry underneath. Canyon Berry, the senior grad transfer.
And been hobbled by an ankle injury in recent weeks. Has not attempted a free throw in the last 3 games. It's important because he's 49 out of his last 50 from the stripe.
And he got injured back on February 18th against Mississippi State. And since then, limited minutes as Dustin Thomas gets on the board for Arkansas. Berry got injured in that game against Mississippi State. Played only 18 minutes against Kentucky, only 9 minutes against South Carolina, so only contributing 3 points in the last 2 games, as you mentioned. The feed and in for Leon as the assist from Rimmer.
Well, Rimmer's made 2 nice plays at the offensive end of the floor. He had the rebound that kind of deflected off of him and went to Berry. He finished. Rimmer had carved out position that last possession, sharing the basketball, setting up his teammate. As a senior, the important thing you want to do is make sure you don't try to do too much. You know, it's an emotional night. We've seen that throughout the landscape of college basketball this week. Play within yourself. Don't try to do too much too quick.
Now, we talked to Mike White earlier today, and he spoke about the emotions of playing on senior night. That's on the floor, that foul, as Allen was making his way on the drive of the right side of the lane. There's Mike Anderson, 6th season at Arkansas. Berry, 3-ball, gets it to go.
He was an elite level scorer at the College of Charleston before transferring in this year as a grad transfer.
Kingsley, right-hand jump wouldn't go. Long ball, Hannah's well off the mark, and the rebound for Allen. And he pulls the trigger. The sophomore from Little Rock, Arkansas, against his home state team.
You might want to get a hand up on Kayvon Allen because he can just flat out score the basketball. He's been in a great rhythm as of late. I think if he doesn't get in early foul trouble like Kentucky, that Florida might have been able to find that win there in Rupp.
Allen had 5 3-pointers in the first meeting with the Hogs. Barford hit the back neck of the rim, and the Gators are on the run with Casey Hill. Up and under with the left hand.
What a start for the seniors.
10-0 run for Florida. Kingsley, and Arkansas needed that. Moses Kingsley, the 6'10 senior.
For those of you who haven't watched Arkansas a lot throughout the course of the season, we're used to seeing the fastest 40. They like to pressure and extend out their defense. That's not quite the recipe of success down the stretch this year. They have dropped back into their half court. They play a very conservative man-to-man, and they also will mix in some zone defense that has been highly effective for the Razorbacks.
Barry, baseline drive, gives to Rimmer. And Rimmer with a good move. He was a 2015 mid-year transfer from Stanford. And he's off to an energetic start here on his senior night.
How about every senior on the floor has already gotten the scoring column? That should relax all of them.
Shot fake, Watkins, runner. Manny Watkins helps the cause for the Hogs.
To me, he is the calming factor on the floor for Arkansas.
Swatted away that time by Thomas. The coach always refers to him as the glue. Says Watkins is the glue, does all the dirty work. Smart player indeed. 14-8, Florida on top. When we come back, how does my partner prep on game day? A little trick shot, Farnham. We're going old school, Farnham, when we return.
Exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Tonight's game is part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. This one sure will. Arkansas and Florida here. Farnham was excited for today's action, so he got out there, showed the passion for the game. Half-court shot was good from Farnham, and then Farnham, he went up the stairs and said, I got to do a little more than that. And everybody was treated to a special one.
You like this one.
The bounce, the glass, the score, like it, love it. Trick shot all day long.
You know, here's the thing, though. We just have fun. I mean, you and I last night, we're at Vandy, Kentucky. Now we're here inside the Florida Gators house and renovated building. You have to test out the building a little bit. You have to find out where you can make shots.
You know what's fun? March is fun.
It's March 1st.
Last night felt like a welcome mat to March, didn't it? The juice that was in there in Rupp Arena, and then we got a good one today here. Of course, two teams that have been firmly in Lenardi's bracketology as we've been monitoring the way the SEC shapes up. Here's Hill now, off the long tap, gives it, and unable to finish that time.
I thought Casey Hill should have just taken that one up and finished it himself. He was out in front of the pack. That's the one thing. You know, we're in March now. Champ Week is right around the corner for the teams in the SEC. For a lot of the other conferences, it gets going a little bit later on this week. It's time to celebrate college basketball. It's the best month of the year.
Hannes crosses over behind the back, off the glass, won't go. And this is going to go on Arkansas here as they are going to attack Kingsley. He's charged with his first.
Physical drive. Dusty Hannes goes up for the shot. Little push in the back. Goes against Arkansas and gives the ball back to the Florida Gators. Ask both coaches, give me one thing you really want to work on or stress in the next week or so before we get to Nashville for the SEC tournament. And for the Gators, he talked about, in particular, Hayes staying out of foul trouble. I think that's a big thing. We talk about John Egbunu being gone, but they need Hayes to not pick up early fouls that are frivolous fouls away from the hoop and taking a big body that can be athletic and protect the rim out of the game.
As Allen moments ago pushed the lead to 8. He's floating off to his right, able to get it to go. All 5 Florida starters have already scored, including the 4 seniors being honored here tonight.
And no surprise what Mike Anderson told us. Defense starts on defense. We need to make sure we are consistent in our defensive approach. And right now they're getting sliced up.
Boy, Allen is really heating up.
It might be senior night, but it's also Kayvon Allen against his home state.
Already 7. Had 21 against them last go. Just had 24 against Kentucky. Hand stripped away from Barford as he was driving baseline. 11 seconds remain on the shot clock.
You just see the aggressiveness. Kayvon Allen, an outstanding shooter. Teams want to close out. He had the mismatch with Moses Kingsley on him. Used his first step to get by him, and poor defensive rotation on the backside. It was about 2 steps too slow, and that's got to be a lot crisper.
3 for 3 shooting for Allen to get the night going for Florida. Shot clock under 5. And Beard had to force it that time, and here comes Chris Chiozza. Contact as Leon came in, and it's going to be offensive.
And that's what I was talking about, that previous possession. You have to rotate over, put yourself in position to cut the driver off. You get there early enough, you get the charge, and a good job by Thomas planting his feet and absorbing the contact.
Barford on the drive, stripped away. Allen, good feed, Hayes! Big finish for the Gators.
You want to question their mindset of how they would respond from the loss. I think they've answered it pretty clearly here in the early stages of this game. This team has been focused at the defensive end of the floor, making life difficult for Arkansas. And at the offensive end, they have been sharing the basketball, finding high percentage looks. Run the floor, big fella. Go ahead and finish. The Gators out in front by 12.
Well, balanced scoring has been a hallmark for Florida all year long. The depth has been on display. They've had 8 different players lead the team in scoring, and they're getting good balanced scoring tonight. Allen out in front with 7. Barry started the game with 5. We saw Hayes finish on the fast break.
6 different Gators have already scored, partner. They're shooting 75% from the floor.
6-0 run for Florida to push it to a 12-point lead. Here's Macon now, gives way to Beard. Shot clock under 5. Lost his handle for a moment and then missed the shot. Chiozza's pass had to be saved, and Stone ended up with it, but couldn't finish it off up at the 10. Other end, Macon leaves it for Hannes. Arkansas needs to settle in a little bit. Just have a good, solid look. Macon. And tip wouldn't drop in either.
And Florida's doing a nice job collapsing on the ball, having awareness of where Arkansas is. There's the travel.
Robinson, as he came through the lane, took that little extra shuffle step, and that's now 4 turnovers for Florida. When we return, how's the SEC tournament shaping up? Sean takes us through the Nashville mashup.
Will Cinderella live for one more night?
This is it. 8 seconds to go.
At the buzzer. He's got it! Oh my goodness!
These guys won't give up.
Champ Week 3 336 total games on Champ Week, including our focus in Nashville, Sean.
And this is if it started today. Kentucky the 1, Florida the 2, South Carolina the 3, Arkansas the 4. Those are set. The numbers, though, could change depending upon what happens this week. I think a couple of teams to keep an eye on heading into Nashville next week. Vanderbilt playing at home, playing well, lost that close game last night. Andy Kennedy's Ole Miss team is sneaky good. Nobody's really paying attention, but Andy Kennedy's on the verge of probably winning 20 games yet again. And I think the most dangerous team could be the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, the way final possessions have gone for them, they've been snake-bitten all year long. That Vandy team hosts these Florida Gators on Saturday. And in terms of Arkansas's setup, they can do no worse than the 4 seed. Could be as high as the 2 seed, but to do that, they need to dig out of this hole right here. Shot clock under 5. Hannah's thought about it, and he's going to launch from deep and make it.
A poor possession that gets bailed out by the shot-making ability of Dusty Hannahs.
He's closing in on 1,000 career points. He would be the 5th to do that in only 2 years of action for Arkansas. Turnover, Beard. Denied from behind by Hayes.
How about that for some hustle? This is a smaller, faster version of Florida without Igbunu. They're still figuring out how to play. They're doing a pretty good job of it so far tonight.
Chiozza will head to the line.
In transition, you turn the ball over. So often you see players just give up on it. Not the Florida Gators. They track you down from behind. They watch LeBron James highlights too often. You know, LeBron has made that cool, though.
He has.
You know, he's made the track down the guy in front of you and try to pin it off the backboard a really high-level highlight film type of play. And so often we see that trickle down. And what I love is that in the college game, we're seeing that more frequently. Guys not just giving up on a play, allowing 2 points.
So Chiozza at the line for what were our first free throws of this game so far. Still a 10-point margin for the Gators. Hannahs turns it over. Chiozza speedy out in front, and he finishes.
Turnovers into points and opportunities. There's 7 points off of Arkansas turnovers so far tonight.
Thompson lost his man, lost his touch as well. Here's Robinson. Questioning how would they react after having that 12-point lead against Kentucky and losing that game at Rupp. They're not feeling sorry for themselves. They have their identity, and it's hustle and action and scoring. Chiozza again.
Well, Mike Anderson might need a timeout right now because his team is turning the ball over and allowing the speed of Florida to get out in the open floor and finish with ease. The Gators still shooting 75% from the floor so far tonight.
Had a 6-0 run. That was stopped for a moment, and now in the midst of a 7-0 run.
And there's that timeout I was talking about, Tess. Arkansas, and I mentioned a couple of possessions ago, I said that's not a good possession. They got bailed out by Dusty Hannahs in that long-range 3. They're not getting the ball inside. They're not attacking. They're not setting screens. They're standing around with a lot of just stagnant offensive sets where they're not forcing the defense to have to collapse, rotate, and shift. And when that happens, you're playing into the hands of the Florida Gators. They're a very good defensive team. They don't need your offense helping them.
Arkansas has also been a very good, Arkansas has been a good road team. They have 6 SEC road wins this year, 3 straight road wins. They came in winners of 5 straight. But Florida has had a 10-0 run, a 6-0 run, and in the midst of a 7-0 run, to have a 16-point lead here at home.
And remember, they got beat on the glass Now on the road at Rupp, they have +9 on the glass already early in this game. They are taking care and valuing the basketball, both ends of the floor, offensive rebounds as well as those.
Reminder, the rematch comes your way Saturday at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Duke and North Carolina. Duke got the best of them back on February 9th. That sonic blockbuster can also be seen on Watch ESPN. Hannah's again.
That was better action, though, because he set a screen and allowed him to curl off of it, forcing the defense to have to make a decision on how they're going to defend some screening action.
He's their leading scorer. Averages just under 15 points per game. 39% three-point shooter. Chiozza, tip and goes. Kavarius Hayes active on the glass. Hannah's shot fake, three ball. Rattles out, rebound Robinson. Chiozza was probing, and it was slapped away, and it went off Florida, they say. So it'll be Arkansas ball.
Good job getting the hands in as you're driving towards the basket. And right now for Arkansas, they need to be able to sustain that and string together a couple of stops. Whittle this thing away over the next 8 minutes.
6 turnovers for Florida. Of course, the red-hot shooting has that margin at 15. Hannah's all the way, and he was fouled as he made that last stride there. And they will charge that on Devin Robinson.
Well, you look for players to step up, and without Egbunu, it's have to be Hayes. He stayed out of foul trouble, and he's been active at both ends. Gators rolling, looking great early.
Andy in studio, a big matchup in the Big Ten. Davin Skelly for the Wildcats, big hook shot here, and Andy, Northwestern with the lead over Michigan right now.
And the consensus is if Northwestern gets this win tonight, get to 10 wins in the Big Ten, they should be comfortably in.
Elsewhere in the SEC, Tennessee and Auburn, both bubbled teams. Tennessee is up by just a hair, and Georgia right now, they are down 37-30 at the half. Joe and Sean, back to you.
Thank you, Prim. Tennessee listed as the next 4 out, according to Joe Lunardi. Georgia, first 4 out. We were with Vandy last night up at Rupp, where they almost got that big notch in the belt against Kentucky in a thriller. They are currently the last team in, according to Joe Lunardi, Sean, who has 5 SEC teams dancing.
I think it's a must-win on Saturday. Vandy, Florida, in Nashville. If Vandy wants to secure itself a spot in the NCAA tournament. If not, they're going to have to do a lot of work at the SEC tournament.
Kingsley.
And Moses Kingsley came in with all the expectations this year. Conference Player of the Year, preseason selection. And I think it's been a little bit difficult for him to have to play through those expectations with so many new pieces around him. What I give him credit for is he's basically said, you know what, I'm not going to force my offensive game. I just care about winning. And because of that, you've seen Arkansas have a very successful season.
Hayes made the move, but it wouldn't drop for him. The extra effort wouldn't go as well, and into the hands of Watkins. Barford attacking baseline. Here's Big Mo as they play out to Watkins. And Hannah's will reset things. And Thomas's entry pass goes into the hands of Allen. And they were looking for the ultimate highlight.
A little too much sauce on that one, partner.
I'd say. He's a good jumper, but not that good.
You mentioned that Duke North Carolina game. How excited is that going to be? Greatest rivalry, college basketball once again getting after it. You think about it, though, Duke has really had a lot of success as of late.
In recent years, that has been the case.
11-4 in the last 15 meetings.
You look through the historical numbers of the series, and it's really incredible to see how even some of the numbers are. But in recent years, it has favored Duke. And there were steps that time as Thomas was trying to make his way closer.
I think a big concern for me, UNC got beat on the glass against Virginia on the offensive glass. They were -3 on the offensive glass, and this is a North Carolina team that is one of the best rebounding teams, the best rebounding team, excuse me, in college basketball.
Glad you're with us here in Gainesville. Joe Tessitore and Sean Farnham, the SEC on ESPN. Florida 29-16 lead, shooting 62%, and the hot hand continues with Allen. Foul underneath that time. The 26th possession for Arkansas, and they have had 5 turnovers and 11 one-and-dones. As Rimmer picks up his first, sending Kingsley to the line.
And look at the numbers in the paint. 11 of 16, 22 points already for Florida. And that's where I think right now, if you're Arkansas, I think you want to feed number 33. Keep giving him the ball down low. Look for him to try to pick up some fouls on the interior of Florida where they are a little bit soft right now. Hayes is on the bench. Rimmer's back out on the floor. Utilize your speed and quickness if you're Moses Kingsley.
Speaking of speed and quickness, Allen, then he picks up the dribble. Of course, when you talk about the Florida interior, the big story of the year for them, the absence of John Mbunu, out for the season with the torn ACL, the 6'11 senior who was averaging just under 8 points a game and 6.6 rebounds per game. And Daryl Macon helps the cause for the Hogs.
Macon can be streaky as a shooter, but he is an efficient and effective scorer. Sometimes he has off nights shooting the basketball partner, and he gets to the free throw line with great regularity. A nice release on that one, though, from beyond the arc. And all of a sudden, Arkansas down 12. 5 minutes left to go here in the half. I think if you're Mike Anderson, if you're down 6 going to the break, you've got to feel really good about where you're at, considering how well the Florida Gators have played.
And it was Macon who, in the loss to Florida at the end of December, led Arkansas with 22 points on 7 of 10 shooting. As Thomas gets the rebound for Arkansas. Here come the Hogs. Chance to settle in, gain a little momentum with under 5 minutes to play before the half.
Going to get Moses Kingsley the ball.
Here he is, denied, and they're going to tag Rimmer that time as he'll be charged with his second.
First of all, you missed him early. He had 2 feet in the middle of the paint, and they didn't get on the ball. Then when he had both feet out of the paint, you do get on the ball. It still works out in your advantage, though, because you're able to pick up the interior foul. So you got 2 on Rimmer. Now I think you still play through number 33 and try to attack Hayes and get him in foul trouble. It'll help even out some of the balance on the glass.
Thomas off balance, and that was on the floor.
And that foul's going against Hayes. That whistle was late.
Charged with his first.
That was one of those
5 team fouls.
The ball was shot and rebound before the whistle came.
Thomas played 2 years at Colorado, transferred to Arkansas, redshirted last year. 6'8" junior. Florida started the game shooting 12 of 16. They're 2 of 8 since. From the corner. Score it for Barry.
There's nobody within 10 feet of him. If you're going to help up and you're going to show on the drive, you've got to either have somebody rotate over from down low underneath, or you've got to get back with a better sense of urgency than that for Arkansas.
Barford. And count it. Jalen Barford, #1 JUCO recruit in the country a year ago, led the nation in scoring at the JUCO level.
I love Barford's ability and will to try to attack the interior, and he's got a strong upper body, and he can absorb contact. He's a good athlete, but with his strength in his upper body, he's able to go through contact and still have an opportunity to get it up on the rim as he did on that one.
Now checking into the game for Florida is Gorjak Gak, the 6'11" freshman. Was born in Africa, grew up in Australia, came to the U.S. to play his high school ball, 7'4" wingspan. Had an injury a couple weeks ago, hasn't played since, and they're looking to get him more time considering the lack of depth in the front court.
I'll be interested to see how he can perform. If he can stabilize some things underneath, be just a defensive presence, I think that is huge for Florida.
Hogs on the go. Thomas pulls up. A little too much muscle there. Fighting for the ball. Barry, and into the hands of Allen. There's Barry again. Uses the ball screen. Under 5. Barry for 3. And they'll go out and be Arkansas ball. 11-point lead for Florida. Just over 3 minutes to play. Florida trying to secure the #2 seed in the SEC tournament in control early. Stay with us. More to come.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Constant Contact. Be a marketer. All it takes is Constant Contact email marketing.
Thanks for joining us. Prim Saripapat, Carol Lawson, Andy Katz. Coming up on the Land Rover halftime report, a lot of bubble teams playing tonight, 9 in all. Who are you guys watching?
Well, can Northwestern actually feel secure that they're going to make the NCAA tournament for the first time if they beat Michigan tonight?
A couple SEC teams playing right now on the bubble. I've got my eye on the Georgia Bulldogs and J.J. Frazier.
All right, good stuff. We'll see what happens. That's coming up on the Land Rover halftime report. Joe and Sean, back to you guys.
Prim, they're celebrating birthdays here by way of Albert bringing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a candle in it to Florida football coach Jim McElwain. Happy birthday, Mac. Mac, 55 years old today. He loves PB&Js, known for that around campus. And tomorrow will be Florida head coach Mike White's birthday. Mike turns 40 tomorrow.
What a great job he's done in year 2.
Sure has.
Here at Florida. I think he's the SEC Coach of the Year this year. Took a team that he inherited with a losing record, turned it into 21 wins last year. This year off to a great start. I got to ask you about the PB&J. Are you a big PB&J guy?
No, not at all.
Really?
No.
How can you not be a PB&J guy?
You know me, the Italian bread, the nice prosciutto and mozzarella. I don't go for the Wonder Bread and the spreadable things, Farm.
I'm all about the PB&J.
I know what to get you for your birthday.
Have you ever put Lay's potato chips on the peanut butter
You're
and jelly?
heading down the wrong path with me,
It's
brother.
really good.
Baseline drive.
Yeah, that's a
back
little
out to
crunch to it.
Chiosa. Shot fake, good feed, baseline, and the youngin gets it. Gak enters the game and scores.
A rebound at one end, a finish at the other. That's a great sign for Florida.
6'11", Gorjak Gak. Well, they'd love to give him some confidence and some minutes, wouldn't they?
Yeah, good
3-second call.
See, a lot of standing around for Arkansas, though. They enter the ball into the post. Nobody relocates. Nobody shapes out. Everybody just stands. It makes your recoveries that much easier and allows the defense to really pinch in on you. I can't believe you don't like peanut butter and jelly.
You know what Arkansas doesn't
Next
like
thing you
playing
get,
down here in Gainesville? They haven't won down here since 1995.
Do you like hot dogs?
I go for a hot dog. Yeah,
Okay.
Yankee Stadium hot dog. I'm in. Allen lost control there, but it ends up in the hands of Robinson. Allen gets it back out to the corner, and Barry couldn't get it to go. And we're going to get a call on the floor as Watkins was a little upset with that whistle.
Well, the hustle right now on the side of the Gators. A loose ball a couple of times. Guys diving on the floor, making sure that they're securing possession, and it was Gak on this one. Watch the ball get loose. Gak going to the floor, tips it to Robinson. He loses it. Now you pass it out. The defense is scrambling, and a good rebound and a poor box out by Watkins.
Second on Watkins. dishes to Gak, and he will go to the line. And that's the first on Barford. Told you Gak sprained his foot in practice just over 2 weeks ago. Originally from Australia. Made his way to the States to play his prep ball. NBA Friday doubleheader on ESPN. LeBron and the Cavs in Atlanta taking on the Hawks at 7 Eastern. And then Cousins and Davis and the Pelicans are going to host the Spurs. That is the NBA Friday doubleheader on ESPN.
Things get interesting in the association. CP3 returning for the Clippers. A lot of free agent pickups, clearing roster spots. Andrew Bogut now part of the Cavs. Kevin Durant, his knee injury last night. They picked up Matt Barnes today. Stretch run in the association, just as it is in college basketball. Stretch run now as we get ready for Conference Champ Week. And then the NCAA tournament.
2 fouls on Devin Robinson now as Kingsley's at the line. Mentioned the fact the hype and pressure surrounding Kingsley early on was the SEC preseason player of the year. Had some struggles early. 6 double-doubles on the season, 23 in his career. Good hands that time by Barford.
How often have we seen him swipe away a ball down there? That's at least 3 times in the first half, partner.
He's got strength to his upper body. Well, he will attack. You have to be in control if he's around you. Barry shot fake and then gives to the corner off the mark as he was trying to find Allen.
Yeah, trying to get a little too cute with it, though. Like a little bit of a no-look pass there and just had no awareness actually where he was throwing the ball. It's a careless turnover for Barry. And it'll allow the Razorbacks an opportunity to have possession of the ball. Just over a minute left to go and cut this lead maybe under 10. And considering where it was not that long ago, it has been a slow grind back into this game for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
9 turnovers for Florida now. We told you they had struggled down here in Gainesville. Arkansas has lost 11 straight in Gainesville. Take you back to the 94-95 season. They haven't won here since. They were number 7 in the country then, and they beat the Gators 94-85. A 20-point, 8-rebound performance from Corliss Williamson.
Those were great days for the Arkansas Razorbacks program. Scotty Thurman, a big part of that. Mike Anderson really dives deep into the tradition of this school, and I think it's a big part of the culture in which Arkansas has played with, as he's got them on the verge of making the NCAA tournament once again, plus 20 wins.
On the baseline there. Well, Anderson himself is woven into the fabric of the history of Arkansas. Served as an assistant under Nolan Richardson for 17 years.
Think about the energy in which he's led Arkansas to 2 postseason appearances, 3rd 20-win season coming this year. Had a great stretch of years when he was with Missouri.
Put it down for Canyon Barry. Back to a 15-point lead.
What a quick turn that was. It was an 11-point lead. Could have got it down under 10, and instead it balloons right back up in 2 possessions.
Barry with 11 points here in this first half on senior night. Macon, and he buries it.
This will be the final shot of the half. Set the high screen. Casey Hill looking to attack and get downhill.
Hill was fouled as he went up against Beard. Florida had that 27-11 lead, just under 10 minutes to play here. And then since Arkansas has settled in, played the game 17-13 as Arkansas since that point. As Hill is at the line, he shoots only 64% on the year from the line.
Just think about this, in the first half, 9 different Florida Gators have scored. They've played 10, 9 of them have worked their way in the scoring call.
Of course, the 4 seniors getting the start here on senior night for Mike White. Final second heave. 41-28 Florida. Allen with 10, Berry with 11. They're trying to secure that number 2 seed for the SEC tournament in Nashville as we send you to Prim in the studio.
All right, thank
Always great to have you with us watching the SEC on ESPN. Joe Tessitore and Sean Farnham with you here in Gainesville as the Gators have a 41-28 lead, looking for the season sweep of Arkansas. 24-12 advantage in the paint for Florida. 8-zip on fast break points. They had a lot of advantages in 3 distinct runs.
Partner, the only thing easier than working with you on the call of a broadcast was scoring in the paint in the first half for the Florida Gators. They did it at will, and they did it from the very start of the game. They're unselfishly sharing the basketball and finding a way to manufacture points. Look at this. Just break down the defense. Go ahead, score. Everybody scored. 9 out of the 10 guys that played in the first half were able to score, and all of them were able to score inside, in transition, poor defensive awareness. Everything you could hope for off of turnovers worked and benefited Florida, and that's a big reason why they had so much success. It's why their field goal percentage well above 50%.
You see the rebounding edge for Florida, 24-13. The first time these 2 teams met, it was dead even, 37 apiece. Arkansas had 15 one-and-done possessions in that first half. Canyon Berry on senior night, the grad transfer senior, led the way with 11 points in that first half for Florida.
Test one-and-done players good, one-and-done possessions bad.
Exactly. Such is the case for Arkansas. Here's Berry as he got tied up as he was on the drive.
A good drive again, looking to get right into the middle of the paint. Obviously, Florida, they looked at the box score. They figured out, hey, guys, we're scoring inside. Until the defense can turn off the water in the lane, I think if you're Florida, you continue to attack.
Hannes was charged with the foul there. Here is attack, reversal, and tip in that time by Hayes. As the putback goes for Kavarius Hayes.
Okay, it's bad enough you get blown by and you give up a layup, but where was the box out? Where was anybody putting a body on a Florida Gator right there? Not the start to the second half that Mike Anderson wants to see for his team at the defensive end.
And if you're going to claw back into this one, you're going to need stops. Barford pulls back and cannot connect. Kingsley trying to clean it up. Third chance wouldn't go. Ball stripped away and back into Hannah's hand.
Great hustle that time by Moses Kingsley on the glass. Has to be able to convert that, though.
Dusty Hannah's against Hill. And Berry comes away with it. Hill behind the back, crosses over, and will reset things. Senior night for Casey Hill. Good hands that time by Watkins, but Florida able to retain it. Shot clock down to 3. Hill. And the violation as he came up short with the 6'10" Moses Kingsley in his face.
Now, you mentioned Casey Hill, and you think back to his freshman year. Casey Hill, a McDonald's All-American coming out of high school, comes to be part of this program with Billy Donovan as his head coach. They go all the way to the Final Four. Didn't lose for like 2 months straight. I mean, unbelievable success. And then he goes to having a losing season the next year. His head coach leaves to the NBA. Mike White comes in. They win 21 games. They don't go to the tournament for 2 years in a row. And now as a senior, he has gotten this program back into the NCAA tournament field and back in the discussion nationally.
A little bit behind Hayes that time on the feed. And the whistle comes with Hayes tied up in the lane. You know, it's interesting talking to Mike White about how he was approaching senior night today. He said, With each of the seniors, I just want to take a couple minutes before we came out tonight, talk in the locker room, and attach one word to each senior. And you tell that story of the struggles and the ups and downs of Casey Hill's career as Robinson off the mark there. And he said the word he was going to use for Hill was perseverance. And I think it's applicable. And just when he's ready to turn the corner in his career, there's a new coach in your junior year.
Well, his level of consistency this year has made a big difference for Florida.
Barry made a big difference in that first half with his shooting. Couldn't connect there. Barford. And Arkansas needs to rev that engine of Jalen Barford.
To me, he is the fire starter for Arkansas. He is the guy that when he attacks, when he is playing with a sense of purpose and energy, it starts to become infectious for his teammates.
He has 7. Remember, we told you he has 4 20-point games on the year, and all of them have been on the road. Fight for the ball, and Barford comes away with it. Twists and turns through the lane and denied by Hayes.
Arkansas continuing to apply pressure. It's Barford once again. Hayes, though, a couple of times tonight. Quick hands, avoiding foul trouble. That's been a big key for him as he has struggled to stay out of fouls.
Of course, that's important.
In the last 4 games.
That is really important in recent weeks with Egbunu's season-ending injury. He's a high-energy guy. He's gotten stronger this year. He has stepped up defensively. Here he is in the post. Barford off the glass and in.
Check the box. There is one guy on the floor for Arkansas right now that's trying to do his best to will his team back into this game, and it's Jalen Barford.
Strong guy who can go through defenders. From the corner is Robinson. Good way to answer Devin Robinson.
The back line of that zone defense, there's nobody posting up. There's nobody in the paint. Why are you standing there not guarding anybody?
Kingsley will head to the line.
Moses Kingsley, a strong attempt at the iron, and Hayes got hit in the face, but things still going well for Florida. They continue to shoot the ball well. The three-point shot by Robinson, a big part of the success as the Gators maintain a 14-point lead.
Point lead for Florida over Arkansas. You're with us on this ESPN Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. Both these teams are slated to have a spot in the big dance. They're looking for better position in the SEC tournament in Nashville. Of course, Saturday at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN is the rematch from Chapel Hill. Duke in North Carolina. We'll see if UNC can avenge that February 9th loss to Duke. Farnham, giving something to look for in the rematch.
To me, it's going to come down to Carolina's ability to control the glass. Are they going to be able to pummel and get second chance opportunities? Can Duke's interior match that? Obviously, you know the guard play, and Luke Kennard is playing at a first-team All-American level. He has been primarily throughout the course of the season. Frank Jackson had the huge game he did 2 nights ago, or last night, rather.
Against Florida State.
Against Florida State, and to me, if he can help out the offense, Grayson Allen really a non-factor. I think Carolina's going to win the game. I think Carolina's trying to poise itself for a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Close out the regular season title, winning it outright.
And erase the memory of what they looked like on Monday night.
Oh boy, they struggled offensively. Virginia's done that to a lot of opponents, though.
Here's Chiozza. Shot clock under 4 as he feeds Robinson, cutting through the lane. And Barford on the go for the Razorbacks now. Switching gears. Look at him hit the accelerator, and he will earn a trip to the line.
He drops the hammer and goes to a different gear, doesn't he?
Boy, he does. He's floating for a moment. The next thing you know, 5th gear, pure acceleration. As Gak is charged with the foul here.
Here's the blow by and just the change of speed. We slowed it down for you in real speed. You should have seen how fast it was, sensing it from the court where we are. This young man, we talked about at lunch today. You know, and I said there's sometimes you get junior college transfers and they can be the disease of me guy, the guy that cares about themselves and their numbers, maybe doesn't have the best motor. That is not the case with the junior college transfers that Mike Anderson and his staff brought in. They are guys that have enhanced this team and has helped mold this team into an NCAA tournament team.
And I think that's been one of the big keys for Arkansas's success down the stretch of this season. 7 new players on Arkansas. And really, over the course of the last 5 games coming into this, you could see the buy-in. Chiozza. Long on the 3. Barford again. Leaving it for Watkins. And the follow that time by Kingsley. Good job trailing by 6'10" Moses Kingsley.
And it's finally under 10 for Arkansas. Who's been the guy that spearheaded the whole thing so far for the Razorbacks, though? It's number 0.
Through the lane, Allen, smooth as could be. And he is still down on the baseline at the other end. Allen is hurt.
And for everybody that's a Florida Gator fan, this is not what you want to see.
As the medical staff is out there right away to attend to Kayvon Allen.
It looks like they're just stretching him out. And if that's the case, that is the best case scenario for Florida.
Leading scorer tonight with 12 after that last drive. Had 21 the first time they met. At 24 against Kentucky this past Saturday.
Yeah, he takes off here, a beautiful finish. As he comes down, he immediately reaches what appears to be his right calf. Watch as he comes down. Tough to see, but he immediately reaches down for that right calf. And a Florida team that has already dealt with injuries this year, and John Egbunu being out, they cannot afford to have a Kayvon Allen be out for any period of time. So important to what they do offensively.
So Allen will take a seat as the trainers will work on him. Kingsley in the post against Rimmer.
And Moses Kingsley gets on the offensive glass, gets a putback, and then that time they play through him on the post. With Rimmer out on the floor, I think you've got to feed Moses Kingsley every single time when you play in the half court. At least give him a touch and an opportunity to score.
Chiozza went down to his waist before he attempted that shot.
See, now I'd be patient. I want Moses Kingsley diving to the rim. I do not want him standing at the three-point line.
There's the matchup you said they should be exploiting. Gonna work out from it and reset with the entry pass. Barford willing. And it wouldn't drop for him.
See, I think this is where Moses Kingsley needs to be much more assertive. He can hit that mid-range jump shot. He can turn and attack. His foot speed is better than Rimmer's.
Chiozza for 3, yes! Hook inside to Kingsley. Working against Rimmer. Offensive they're calling here, and Kingsley says why.
I thought that was a good, strong move by Moses Kingsley.
That's 2 on Kingsley.
Going into his shooting motion. When you watch this on the replay, Moses Kingsley surveys the ball. That is not a foul on Moses Kingsley at all. That is a foul on Rimmer. We talked about this early in the season. If you're going up into your shooting motion, as long as your arms are perpendicular to the floor, you're okay. That is a natural shooting motion. He did not extend out to clear out space.
You're not chicken winging with the elbow.
This is a natural shooting motion. That should be a foul against Rimmer. Moses Kingsley should be at the free throw line. That is a bad call.
Instead, it goes the other way.
There is nothing about that is a non-basketball move trying to clear out or vacate space. As an offensive player, what would you ask Moses Kingsley to do there? I agree with Moses. The look on his face tells you everything you need to know.
Get your position, get the best possible look, make your move. Doug Sermons, Mike Nance, Keith Kimball are officials tonight.
Just got official word from Florida. It is exactly what we thought it was with Kayvon Allen. It is cramps. He's trying to work through it.
That's good news for those seated right behind us, because there was a hush with the Rowdy Reptiles, one of the most vocal student sections in all of college basketball, when Allen hit the court. Stayed down after that score moments ago. Of course, this team already absent John Aguno with the torn ACL, out for the season, thus why we have seen extended time. Skylar Rimmer, Gorjak Gak. Devarius Hayes has stepped up really well in recent weeks.
Well, the key here is this is what they can do. They can take away the foul from the offensive player. They cannot give it, obviously, to the defensive player, but you can actually review this play and then determine, you know what, there was no foul there. We're going to the other end of the floor. The basket is good and just play on.
Which you say is the right thing.
I think that's 100% the right call. If they do that, if they keep this as a foul against Moses Kingsley, I'd be shocked.
Kingsley was so productive against Florida the first go-round, at 13 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks.
They called that an offensive foul.
That was what they just signaled.
They kept that as an offensive foul?
Okay. So it was reviewed, and the call stands. And Sean is giving the explanation. 12-point lead for Florida, as Arkansas was looking to take advantage of Kingsley's presence against Rimmer down in that low block. Sean, what'd you get?
They said that the defensive player was in a legal guarding position and that the elbow was extended out and drew contact. I'm sorry, I think I saw something different. I respect these officials. They're seasoned officials. They do a great job. It is a hard job to do, but there is no way that's an offensive foul. They talked about the cylinder and the spacing of where he was at. He was extending up in a natural shooting motion.
Robinson. Long off the back rim. And the whistle will come in this time. As that was Beard trying to track it down. Florida maintaining that double-digit lead, looking to become the #2 seed in the SEC tournament.
Welcome back from Seripipad here in studio. Live look at the Auburn-Georgia game, and it's a one-point game. The Bulldogs are up by 1 with 7.5 seconds. Guys, the Bulldogs are in a position. They're a bubble team. How important is this game?
Well, it's huge. And you look at the graphic on the screen right now, the Georgia Heartbreakers. How many close games this Georgia Bulldog team has been in all season long in the SEC, and they haven't been able to pull it out in the end. They got down big early against Auburn, and then Georgia Georgia was able to come roaring back on the strength of J.J. Frazier. He's got 31 in the game. It's Auburn ball down 1 out of this timeout.
This is just to survive. I mean, if they win this game against Auburn, that doesn't put them in. This just at least keeps them hanging on by a thread. Still a lot of work to do in the SEC tournament, even if they get by Auburn.
I mean, this is J.J. Frazier's 4th consecutive game with 25-plus points. As you mentioned, Carrie, he has 31 points tonight. But listen, he is the star of this team, but he needs some of these other players to really step up. So, again, the Bulldogs, they are up by 1 right now versus Auburn.
I mean, bottom line, they need to try to get to the rim, but they shoot the three-point shot so well that I wouldn't be surprised if T.J. Lang actually is the one that ends up with the jump shot. They went to him down the stretch earlier. Also, Mr. Dunnins as well hit a big-time shot at the buzzer.
All right, so right now they've got a little timeout. What are you looking for here?
Well, you know, Auburn is a team that has a lot of young players. And in this game in particular, they've got 6 guys in double figures. So to me, there is a little bit of confusion if you're Georgia's. Who do you go to? Who's Auburn going to go to? Who are they going to try and get the basketball to? Because they do have a lot of different weapons. Bruce Pearl has a lot of different guys that he could go to in the end.
So we're getting to look at our friend, former ESPN analyst Bruce Pearl, sweating it up as he should, because this is an important game, very hot and important, crucial game. Katz?
And a lot of this has to do with seeding going into the SEC tournament. Carrie, you know this, that if you want to advance, you're going to have to play some of the teams that are going to be in the NCAA field. So for Georgia, you know, let's say they beat Auburn and then they play one of the lower level teams of the SEC. That's still not going to do it. They need to be in position to where they're at least going to have a shot against Kentucky, South Carolina, Florida, Arkansas. And so seeding becomes even much more important here in the final weekend.
Well, right now, Joe Lunardi, our resident bracketologist, has the Bulldogs as the first 4 out. We'll get you back to the Florida-Arkansas game in just a moment.
Here's Lang, 6 left. Harper, the freshman, for 3 in the lead. No! Georgia's gonna survive!
It's officially March.
And it is Matt.
So, all right, so there you have it. The Bulldogs barely survive. Georgia wins 79-78. Let's send it back to Joe and Sean with the Florida-Arkansas game.
Thank you very much. Georgia a winner. They have been listed among the first 4 out. They would have to take care of a lot of business next week in Nashville to make something special happen. But J.J. Frazier has been sensational in Yante Mayton's absence in recent weeks. Leon, a little strong there, and this will go the other way as there was room to push off enough for Barry.
Look at some teams that I think are making a little buzz right now as we take a look at Bracket Buzz, brought to you by Cheez-It. Minnesota, 7 consecutive wins. Coach Pitino's team playing well. Providence hitting their stride. 5 straight wins since their overtime loss to Seton Hall. USC, 4 consecutive losses. They play Washington State later on tonight. That should rectify that problem. Georgia Tech, they are struggling down there. Josh Pastner has done a great job in year 1 for the Yellow Jackets, but too many losses down the stretch.
I want to talk about rectifying problems. How about the breathing problem that Florida fans were having after Kayvon Allen went down? He's back in the game. That'll calm folks down here in Gainesville. Their leading scorer, who's been so strong over the course of this stretch run of the season, left the game not long ago as he was reaching for his lower leg. Picks up the foul here, his first.
Now, this is where Macon can really hurt you at the free throw line.
OJ Made in America won the Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature. And we're thrilled that we can bring it back to you every weeknight at 11 on ESPN2. It is OJ Made in America, ESPN's Academy Award-winning film. And here is Macon. Chance to cut into this lead again. to 8 here with under 10 to play. Thompson from 16 feet, yes! And the Hogs are finding a little bit of rhythm here, a 6-point game.
And doing this, by the way, with Moses Kingsley on the bench. You're starting to see that defense stiffen up a little bit offensively. They showed some patience, some poise. They found a shot that they liked. Trey Thompson and the Arkansas Razorbacks climbing back into this game.
6-0 run for Arkansas. Thompson caps it. May have a good finish here in Gainesville all of a sudden. Good SEC action here in Gainesville. Last night we had it erupt. Kentucky's De'Aaron Fox had 13 points in the comeback win over Vandy's, but putting in strong effort. Try to win college basketball's highest honor in our Wendy's Wood Watch.
What makes my game unique is my speed. My speed just allows me to get wherever I want on the court. It allows me to wreak havoc on defense, and I've been able to run my team while running fast down the court. So it's just a difference maker for me, and I don't think too many players have that unique trait.
Well, Kentucky overcame a 19-point deficit last night. Malik Monk was a big reason why, Sean.
Well, and Malik Monk, 6 times now this season, he has had more than 20 points in a single half. And you don't need to tell Florida Gators fans that. They saw that up close and personal a week ago on Saturday. But an electrifying scoring in that backcourt has been so big for Kentucky.
Kentucky overcame a 19-point deficit. Arkansas's Barry scores off the inbound here to get things going for Florida. Arkansas trailed by 16 here earlier tonight. Back to an 8-point margin now. Thompson baseline tried to beat the clock there.
Barely did.
D-Rob. Yes! Gators answering. Robinson with 8. Thompson in the lane. And he was fouled.
Devin Robinson, what a different player he's been this year for Florida. Just so much more consistent. And a lot of that has to do with his mental approach to the game. I mean, he has been a guy that early in his career, you'd hear the people chirping about NBA and this and NBA that. And this year, he's put all that to the side, and what he's focused on is contributing to Florida, trying to help them win games, and in doing so, he's been a much more consistent player.
Gack and Stone are going to check in now, as Hayes and Robinson will take a seat. They are both playing with 3 fouls, 8:21 to play. Thompson at the line. Rebound fought for and into the hands of Stone.
Gack a couple times tonight has had opportunities to really grab rebounds, and he's not securing the ball. That's something he's going to have to work on.
He's a little raw, bit of a project. Got to shake off a little bit of rust after the injury as well. Barry against Thompson. Picks up his dribble. And then Thompson will be charged with the foul. Florida trying to bring this one home here. Back up double digits at the O-Dome. The dad on the right is a basketball Hall of Famer. The son on the left is studying nuclear engineering, Sean.
And is at 4.0 with that as well. I mean, he's going to be an academic All-American. Such a great addition to Florida this year. And he does this every pregame. He'll try at least 2 of these attempts. He hit the first tonight. Should be noted it's senior night. It's good that he hit it right away. Little fist bump for everybody else. And that should have been a sign of things to come offensively for Florida, who has shot the ball very well over the course of this game. Canyon Berry with 13 points. Rick and his family were all smiles heading out there for the senior night festivities earlier tonight. Why not? Would have been on cue. Rebound, Stone. Good work on the glass. As he will head to the line and count the basket for Keith Stone, who has not been at 100% health. He's been dealing with vertigo symptoms after an ear infection. Yeah, he's been kind of a little bit out of it, to be honest with you. That's the best way to describe it, with the vertigo that he's been dealing with, and has not been close to himself. And he's a guy down the stretch. They can play a little bit smaller. He was not a center in high school. They may ask him to play some 5 as they go into Nashville next week. But if he can just be on the glass, be active, and then defensively give them some semblance of a presence underneath. Again, little by little, you take away the loss of John Boonen.
You know, it's interesting when we talked to Mike White earlier, you said, all right, give us a few guys that if you said you got to be at your absolute best, you got to be clicking. Barford through the lane. He was fouled. And Stone was one of the guys he mentioned. He said, listen, Hayes can't get into foul trouble. Stone has to be healthy. We have to be able to rely on him and know what we're getting. And perhaps Gak helping out with the 5 spot. We've seen some of that tonight.
Well, yeah, and then Stone, I think, just got hit in the face as he fell to the ground. He's trying to shake it back off. That made basket, though. All 10 players that have played for Florida tonight have scored.
Arkansas 9 of 15 from the line. And Barford's a perfect 4 for 4. Watkins checks in for the Hogs as Beard takes a seat. Point lead. Florida coming off the loss to Kentucky that ended a 9-game win streak. They had a 12-point lead in that game. Berry for 3. Too much. Into the hands of Watkins. Hannes. And he was fouled.
Dusty Hannes, we mentioned Canyon Berry and his academic achievements. Dusty Hannes have already graduated Arkansas, did so back in December. A transfer from Texas Tech.
Allen charged with his second. And shoots over 88% from the stripe. Anderson looking for a spark here. Just over 7 minutes to play. Ten-point game here at the O-Dome. Hill gives a Stone. And he puts it in. Didn't get it cleanly at first, but got the end result he was looking for.
And again, right now, if you're Arkansas, you cannot afford to just exchange baskets. You've got to string together multiple stops.
Touch of a late whistle there after the shot by Hannes. Chioza will be his first.
And Dusty Hannes noted for his 3-point shooting, but does an excellent job driving the lane the last 2 possessions, drawing contact and getting the trip to the free throw line.
Arkansas's last 4 possessions, earning trips to the line, 6 of 8 on those free throws. Barford, strong move, great finish.
And just like that, it's back underneath 10 once again. Barford being aggressive. Dusty Hannahs has been aggressive. Getting to the free throw line. Arkansas is not going to step back. They're not going to quit. You may have them down, but they're going to continue to fight. I promise you that.
You're so right about the way you describe Barford. When he hits that next gear, he makes things happen. Barry coming around that curl. Out to the corner, Stone. Yes! Keith Stone stretching it out and dropping it in. He has 8.
How about that? His offense emerging here.
Barford again gets his own rebound. Back up. Nothing doing. Into the hands of Chiozza. On the run. Through the lane. And on the line, it'll go the other way.
Well, this game, boy, you look at everything that's going right. Barford being aggressive. Dusty Hannahs getting to the free throw line. But then it's Keith Stone that has consistently found a way to score and be active. And that's such a great sign for the Florida Gators.
Barford knocks it down. 3-ball, Jalen Barford.
I just love the way he plays, the composure he plays with, the confidence that he continues to demonstrate.
18 points for the JUCO transfer. Foul was called that time as Chiozza came through the lane before he dished. Chris, so in the bonus, Chiozza at the line.
Well, Arkansas, Barford, again, floor spacing, drive the middle, force the defense to rotate, find the open shooter, and knock it down.
Stone take a seat with 8 points.
Chiozza's had some outstanding moments this season. I go back to that game against Missouri. First player in college basketball. Think about this. First player in college basketball since 2008 to come off the bench and record a triple-double. And that's just an outstanding performance. He's been good on the glass. He's been very conscious as far as limiting his turnovers.
Hannahs, quick release and in. 3-ball for Dusty Hannahs. 13-point night for him.
Well, he has stepped up his play in the last 4 minutes of this contest so far, and they need him because he can't just be on Barford to shoulder the load offensively.
Here's Hill, senior on senior night. He took that opening and took advantage. Kingsley quickly inside, turns around with the right hand. And there is a bit of urgency to Arkansas now offensively as they keep it at 7.
That's fine, Tess, but they need urgency at this end of the floor.
They sure do. As Perry on a trip to the line as he was driving against Kingsley and Watkins.
Arkansas being aggressive. Arkansas trying to get its way back into this game and come over the top.
Good energy here, and you know they'll have it Saturday night down there on Tobacco Road as well.
Prince Ripperpad in studio. Tennessee, one of the 9 bubble teams in action tonight versus LSU. DeWop Reef misses the free throw, but his buddy Brandon Edelstone is there for the putback and knock-in. So right now, LSU, they have the lead, though, by 10. Another team needing some wins to make the tourney, Northwestern, and it is tied up right now. Joe, and coming up just after the hour, Jared Allen in Texas versus Texas Tech. That's right here on ESPN2.
That's a disappointing night for Tennessee, struggling with LSU as we look at the Sonic showdown here between Arkansas and Florida. And be careful of the bench points when it's senior night, Farnham.
Well, senior night skews everything because you have players that are normally in the starting lineup. Hayes coming off the bench, obviously Robinson coming off the bench. Their production changes things, and a rare miss for Canyon Barry. I mentioned he was 49 for his last 50 from the free throw line prior to that attempt.
Remember, he set the Florida record with 42 straight. He didn't miss for a month earlier this season. Interesting to see that LSU score. Brandon Sampson with 22 points in that game. 8-point margin here. On the cut, and Thomas was denied. It'll be Florida ball. By the way, Florida leading at the 5-minute mark, 22-0, 42-1 under Mike White as they try to close this out and secure that number 2 seed for the SEC tournament.
Of his career for a 3-point shooter, but shot that one with some confidence, partner.
He's had moments this year of great confidence, like the 21 points he had in that big win over Kentucky back on February 4th. And D-Rock comes down with it, and then stripped away, and it'll be going with Florida.
Good unselfishness that time by Barford to make the extra pass, but you wonder about the hot hand. Barford, Hannas, and Kingsley have combined for 27 of Arkansas's 33 points here in the second half. Throwing it out to Watkins on the outside. I would have rather preferred Barford take the shot.
Little cheese and a little O. Chris Chiozza. Beautiful move. And a nice arc in the lane. Kingsley now looking to answer, and he does quickly. Arkansas came in on a 5-game win streak. They have been very strong on the road this year. 3 straight road wins. 6 SEC road wins. They have struggled here through the years at the O'Connell Center. They've lost 11 consecutive. Hanna's off balance, rattles out Kingsley the rebound, and he'll head to the line. With 1:39 to play and trailing by 11.
He wanted that one to go down. He looked up at the rim after he had missed the shot, saying, "How did you not fall for me?"
Fourth on Hayes. Kingsley at the line.
You look at the SEC this year and the improvement we've seen across the board. What Bryce Drew has been able to do at Vanderbilt, changing the culture there, getting it trending in a very positive direction in year 1. I think what Mike Anderson has done at Arkansas solidifies themselves as an NCAA tournament team. But what this also speaks to, and as far as I'm concerned, is how good Florida is. This is a very good Florida team.
And a team that had to change course as to how they go about it. When Igbunu was injured, other guys had to step up in the front court. But to your point on Mike Anderson, remember what folks were saying about them about 5-6 weeks ago. He said, folks had us buried. I said, it's a sickness, it's not a death. And they made that little run in February to put themselves in position for March. But this Florida team is something special this year.
They just compete and they defend the basketball. And even when things aren't going great offensively, although tonight they have been outstanding, they have been able to find ways to win. You and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. They scored 114 points against Auburn. And they came back and scored 57 points, half as many points, and won both games.
Statistical anomaly. But they did that just a couple weeks ago. That was in the midst of the 9-game win streak that ended with the loss to Kentucky. Remember, when it comes to the SEC tournament and all the planning for seeding that we've been discussing with the impact of the results of this game, Florida playing for number 2, but Arkansas can be no worse than the 4 seed. So between Kentucky, Florida, South Carolina, and Arkansas, that's your top group. Barford offensive as he came in strong on that baseline.
Arkansas has Georgia at home this weekend. It'll be their final game, their final tune-up before they get to the SEC tournament.
To Nashville, maybe get acclimated for a run next week. They're going to be playing at Vandy before they end up with that number 2 next to their name in the SEC tournament. Well, Vandy had a chance last night at Rupp, didn't they, Farnham?
They certainly did. They can really shoot the ball from the outside. Their defense has been a lot better as of late. Their man-to-man principles have been solid. To me, what I look at here right now, Tess, you look at this stretch, though, that Florida's had to go through. South Carolina, they got the win here at home. They take the road loss at Kentucky. They come back to get the win against Arkansas. Those are the other 3 top teams in the conference. 2-1 against them. Obviously, they split on the season against Kentucky. And then they've got to go to Vanderbilt, who's playing as well as anybody that's not in that top 4.
Yeah, so it's a good stretch, and you had the 12-point lead against Kentucky, and you come up short. Kentucky fights back there, and it's had some great individual efforts, good team defense. Allen in that game you referenced last Tuesday against South Carolina went for 26 points and grabbed 7 rebounds. Substitutions coming in as the seniors are greatly appreciated. Leon and Rimmer and Barry on a night when he had 14, and Casey Hill. What a career, the ups and downs, 1,000-point career scorer, 1,000 points, 500 assists. A well-rounded contributor for Florida.
How about the buy-in factor, too? I mean, you talk about Casey Hill in particular, but the buy-in factor, you lose a coach like Billy Donovan, and you just go all in on Mike White. It talks about the commitment that players are ready to make to Mike White. The addition of Canyon Barry has been a huge component to Florida's success.
And that should do it. Shot clock is off. Florida's going to win this game. They came out and shot so hot early on, and then they fought back, and Arkansas rallied. Allen had 12, Chiozza 12, Hill 12, Barry 14. It's been one of the themes. Balanced scoring throughout the season for the Gators.
You think about this team and the way that they were able to go about it tonight. They did it through defense. Held them to under 36% shooting on the game. Then offensively, they were opportunistic. They got the ball down low. They attacked in the paint. All these things so important for Florida to be able to find their rhythm and flow offensively.
Play of the game is driven by Continental Tire, Sean.
Well, Chris Chioza had an outstanding game off the bench, 12 points, and gets in the middle lane with a little bit of touch. The floater over the top of Moses Kingsley, one of the best shot blockers in the SEC. And the Gators look good offensively, they look good defensively. They look every bit the part of a team that's ready to make a trip to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
Had won 9 straight, lost to Kentucky. Now perhaps starting a new win streak. Now 12 straight wins at home over Arkansas. The Gators finish off their home schedule with a strong win. They lock up the number 2 seed for the SEC tournament in Nashville. 78-65, your final from here in Gainesville.